Guess who lost 35 pounds in just 8 weeks, folks? Yep, Jamie. Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. All right, I'm going to let Jamie tell you the details of his specific weight loss for this week. And he's got some other information too, so be sure to stick around for that. But I wanted to just take a minute or a moment, should I say, and remind everyone that, even though Jamie's been with me for 8 weeks and has lost 35 pounds, he actually, him and I had a conversation like a couple weeks before about, working on this together and me mentoring him. And, he unofficially started at that point. So technically, he's lost about 44 or 45 pounds in 10 weeks. So I just wanted to, give credit where credit is due, because Jamie worked really hard and, he just left for his vacation 45 pounds lighter than he was 10 weeks ago. So I know he's got to feel really good about that. Before we hear from Jamie in just a moment, let's do a super quick reminder of his goals for week 8. This has been his goals since week 6, I believe. I have to go back and check. But he has to eat 20 or less carbs a day. That's his target. He needs to aim for a macro ratio of 75% fat, 5% carb, and then 20% protein. He also needs to be eating more clean, types of foods. And, that means less dirty keto, though they're not off limits. He can have dirty, just doesn't want it to be his primary source. And lastly, he needs to be targeting at least a 16-8, non-advanced fast. That just means that, he's basically skipping breakfast, and then he's going to, he can have something in the morning, like something like an MCT oil or a heavy whipping cream or something like that, and in his coffee, but hopefully soon he'll be, wanting to get rid of those. I saw that he did taper him back a little bit, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself in the video here. And it's time to hear from Jamie.
Hey, I wanted to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July. Jamie here. I wanted to give a real quick update after week 8. I completed my second 72-hour fast, and I'm actually in the middle of my 3rd one right now. I wanted to get another fast in before I left for my family vacation. We're all going to Hawaii. I'll be there for 12 days, so I wanted to knock one out before I left. The results that I've been getting from the fast have been really good, and I don't really want to try fasting while I'm on vacation. I want to be able to do everything that I want to do and have a good time. I dropped another 5 pounds, so I'm down to 283. That's really exciting. My blood glucose hung out in the low 100s this week, so it's hanging at least in the right direction. I had one day where it fell below 100 and continue on, and for too long I'll be below the 100. So exciting news there. I was able to keep a 1 average for the week for my ketones, so it really feels good that I've actually stayed in ketosis for the entire week. So that's a really good feeling. So I will continue to update as I'm on vacation. Wish me luck, and I'll give you guys another update next week. Thanks. Bye.
That was a really good update from Jamie. As you can see, he's really pleased. He talked about some 72s. He had a 5-pound weight loss. I think that's phenomenal. So let's look at this here. So that was his, he did his 2nd and 3rd 72-hour fast, like one at the beginning of the week, and then one right at the end of the week, with some days in between. And to me, that's really impressive, because it's not easy, to start just doing 72s. He's kind of, when I got into it, I kind of got really excited about him, and I did those 9 72s. Well, I feel like he's kind of doing the same thing. And what's really interesting is he did it right up against his, big trip out of town. Now, folks, when you go out of town, there's a lot of stress. Right up until the day before he left, he was doing this. He squeezed in this other 72. I remember him asking me, Chris, you think I can squeeze one more? And I said, it's totally up to you. And guess what? He did it. So I'm just, week after week, I'm amazed at everything he's doing. Just, he's doing what we set as goals, and he's doing a lot more. So, he had 16/8s, and he's knocking out some long, fast 72s too. So I think that's all great. I have just a little something to share before we, talk about his week 9 goals. It's just an interesting story about blood glucose. So, I'm looking at his spreadsheet every day. We're texting each other, we're in our little group, we're sending things back and forth. And, and I'm noticing that, he's doing these long fasts, he's doing everything right, but then I'm seeing like a 117 or a 125 or just something that just doesn't seem right with his blood glucose. And, so I just, I'm thinking, wow, this should be breaking a little bit by now. I'm no doctor, but I'm thinking the blood glucose should be breaking some, and he should start to see more numbers below 100. I just simply sent Jamie a text. I said, hey, can you tell me exactly what your morning routine is? Like exactly, So, him and I at the beginning talked about, he wake up, pee, weigh yourself, blood glucose. That's what we talked about. But, there was a lot coming at him that first week. And then he's like, he wakes, he wakes, pees, weighs, and then he brushes his teeth. And then I was like, oh, okay, hold on a second here. I said, can you tell me how long after you brush your teeth that you're about doing your blood glucose? He said, 10, 15 minutes. So I said, okay. I remember, this triggered me to remember a video I watched once by Dr. Barry on fasting. And he was talking about even the smell of like something sweet or what you would perceive to be a sweet, whether it be spearmint, peppermint, or whatever, could, it has shown, should I say, I think he said studies or something, but he had said that, would raise your insulin, especially I believe if you're insulin resistant. So, I wanted to try an experiment. So I told Jamie, I said, let's change your order. I want you need to do the order that, this way. And I think you're going to, do that. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to try it. So, cause I've got my exact routine that I've been doing like since the beginning of my journey. So I get up, pee, weigh, downstairs, blood glucose. We're talking like I have my blood glucose probably within 5 to 6 minutes after waking up, maybe 10 at the most. And, I do this reading and I think it's like 76 or something was my blood glucose. I immediately brush my teeth and then timer. I'm just thinking, okay, I'll just pick 13 minutes because it's in between 10 and 15. Exactly 13 minutes later, blink, prick my finger, check my blood glucose, and it's 89. So it's not conclusive, but it certainly is interesting that it actually, rose, like 13, just in that, coincidentally, 13 minutes. But so, I think there I'd have to do many more like tests like that to see if that really was it. Maybe my blood glucose just spiked anyway, I had no coffee, nothing. I just sat there and waited for 10 minutes or 13 minutes until I could do the next one. So, nonetheless, we're switching it up, but you know what? I'm seeing lower numbers now. So I'm hoping that's it. I know Jamie hopes that's it. And, you got to think about those things, because, anything you put into your mouth, your body is going to perceive, as, maybe something you're eating, including something you're not swallowing, like toothpaste. I think the smell and taste of toothpaste is actually pretty appealing. And if you're no longer eating carbs and stuff like that, it might actually be more appealing than it should be. So let's get to his week 9 goals. As you heard from him, he's on a family trip for 12 days in Hawaii. That means his update, for week 9 is going to come, probably on the beach or something cool like that. Him and I discussed that we're just going to keep the exact same goals. We're not going, I did, my recommendation was not to attempt any long fast, not a 48, not a 72. to try his best to do the 16/8. You know, he can keep them like non-advanced, and that if he just for some reason would happen to kick out a, you know, like a 1 meal a day, that's fine with me. I mean, he can do that. It's just that, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it would be very important just to maintain instead of just risking, like, you know, trying to get an extra, what, pound or 2 or 3 while you're out trying to enjoy yourself. You know, maintain, and we'll refocus when he gets back. And who knows when he gets, you know, I've already heard some good number. I shouldn't say heard. I've seen some good numbers already coming. You know, I'll just give you a little bit of a hint. I think it's, you know, he sent me a 90 on his blood glucose while he's away. Now that could be residual left over from this, you know, the 72 he just did, but boy, that would just be awesome, you know, to see it trending that way. All right, one more little thing before we do the wrap up. I know, Chris, come on, hurry, 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 hurry. I just wanted to remind you guys, especially if you haven't seen the week 6 or week 7 updates of Jamie's, that, you know, in there we mentioned that we were going to Keto Pa-LOU-Za in Louisville, Kentucky, you know, October 7th and October 8th. You know, we're going to go down and see Dr. Boz, Dr. Barry, and some other folks and stuff like that. So all very, very exciting. It's one of those like conventions, right? So if you're into keto, you go to it. So yeah, we'll be down there. Hopefully, maybe we'll see you there. You can just come up and be like, hey, are you the 2 guys that are on there? Don't hesitate to do that. That's it for Jamie's week 8 update. Wow, tongue twisted there. Thanks for taking time to watch the video today. Please like and subscribe so you can keto with me, but more importantly, get updates on Jamie so you can see his progress. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care.